Hey everyone! Welcome to The Young and the Restless. I'm Jane, and I'm so excited to have you here. If you love Young and the Restless, then you're in the right place. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Alright, let's dive right in. According to Friday, August 8th spoilers for The Young and the Restless, Billy Abbott and Victor Newman will have a heated exchange while Newman seals a surprising deal. Let's discuss what to expect from Friday's YNR episode, which will feature some increasingly intense drama. Billy will get agitated at society even though all he wants is a drink and quiet. Since Phyllis Summers will appear to irritate Billy before Jack Abbott encounters his brother, there will be two explanations for this. Since Phyllis would be around to observe the tension between Jack and Billy, she might incite it even more. Regarding Chelsea Lawson, she will need to decide whose side she supports. Adam Newman continues to try to postpone Billy's hit pieces, but how much longer can Victor really allow him to get away with it? Victor has already grumbled about Adam's tardiness and might put additional pressure on him in the near future. Cheslea might have to choose whether she can put up with Adam publishing this media slander campaign against Billy. Adam may be able to spare Billy this specific hit, but if Victor's plan succeeds, a much more serious one is on the horizon. Victor intends to use Kane Ashby to set the Abbotts against one another in order to destroy them. Since the Abbotts will be a greater target than the Newmans, at least for the time being, Adam might tell Chelsea that he supports the plan. Although Chelsea is unlikely to agree with Adam's endorsement of Victor's unscrupulous methods, she might eventually make an effort to comprehend. In Friday's YNR episode, Victor will seal an unexpected deal. Victor might be open to coming to an arrangement with Kane after calling him and informing him that they need to speak. Victor might try his best to persuade Kane to prioritize the Abbotts and provide something in exchange. Despite the clear lack of confidence between Kane and Victor, a deal could still be reached during this business encounter. Victor's ambitious goals may be related to Lily Winter's potential to continue offering Kane false optimism while pursuing his agenda. According to teasers for The Young and the Restless, Kane will have to remain vigilant because of all the dangers that surround him. A complex combination of power dynamics, individual ambition, and underlying tensions shapes the course of their relationship and the larger framework in which they operate in the story of Victor's surprise transaction and Billy's tense encounter. Fundamentally, this scenario examines topics of strategic maneuvering, trust, treachery, and the psychological effects of making important decisions. Billy is forced into a reactive position that puts his fortitude and flexibility to the test because of the element of unpredictability introduced by Victor's abrupt offer. Depending on how it is interpreted, the subsequent encounter between the two characters is a turning point in their ongoing fight or alliance since it is laden with unresolved grievances, competitive energy, and the weight of previous exchanges. Victor's unexpected offer points to a well-thought-out strategy that may have been planned for some time but purposefully kept a secret to increase its impact. This degree of secrecy suggests a lack of trust in Billy and those around him, or maybe an awareness that strength comes from knowledge and that showing his hand too soon could make him look weaker. The deal's wider ramifications would depend on its specifics, such as whether it entails monetary gain, a change in alliances, or a consolidation of power. Victor will be positioned as a strong player who stays one step ahead of his competitors if the agreement gives him a commanding position in the political, business, or personal spheres. This tactical edge may be seen as a brilliant move that strengthened his standing as a cunning and unpredictable person. But it may also alienate others who feel caught off guard, like Billy, whose response plays a crucial role in how things turn out. After the deal, Billy and Victor have a difficult confrontation that exposes layers of unresolved conflict. They may be at odds because of their different philosophies, personal histories, or professional rivalries. Victor's abrupt move might have been interpreted as a betrayal, destroying any previous agreements or understandings, if Billy had been acting under the presumption of mutual transparency. The interaction is probably characterized by tense conversation, covert threats, or a chilly exchange in which the silence is more significant than the words. Billy's body language would reveal information about his emotional state and potential next steps, whether he exhibits wrath, restraint, or forced serenity. Depending on his nature and the situation, he may react with a tactical retreat or an outright confrontation if he feels outmaneuvered. Awareness. The deeper ramifications of Victor's bargain and Billy's response requires an awareness of the power dynamics at work in this situation. If Victor has more resources, power, or information than Billy, his ability to seal a surprise transaction solidifies his superiority and leaves Billy fumbling to get back on track. On the other hand, Victor's action might indicate an intensification of their rivalry if they had previously been on equal footing and an effort to shift the scales in his favor. Billy's reaction thus turns into a test of his strategic thinking. Does he try to rework their relationship in light of the current situation, or does he try to counter Victor's move with one of his own? Given that they both acknowledge each other's strengths, the tension in their interaction may also allude to an underlying respect or grudging appreciation. It is impossible to ignore the psychological aspects of this connection. Victor may have wanted to control the story and avoid criticism or interference, which is why he chose to keep the arrangement a secret until the very end. This conduct may be a sign of a deep-seated need for independence or a fear of being vulnerable, implying that he finds it difficult to trust others. Billy may have feelings of inadequacy, rage, or betrayal as a result of the shock of the discovery, depending on what he expected from Victor. The unexpected offer would cause him to reconsider their relationship if he had thought of them as partners. Therefore, their meeting involves more than simply the immediate consequences of the transaction. It also involves readjusting their personal and professional limits. The framework in which this event plays out determines its wider ramifications. Victor's transaction could represent a hostile takeover, merger, or strategic alliance that marginalizes Billy in a business context. It could signify an agreement with a competing side in a political thriller, isolating Billy. In a personal drama, the transaction could symbolically stand in for a life decision that directly affects Billy and makes him face his own decisions, like marriage, moving, or a legal strategy. Thus, the friction between them acts as a microcosm of more general themes, such as the erratic nature of interpersonal relationships, the brittleness of trust, and the ongoing struggle for power. This scenario's lack of clear dispute resolution allows for interpretation. A brief standoff could result from the interaction, with both sides withdrawing to reconsider their stances. On the other hand, it can intensify into a more spectacular altercation, paving the way for more conflicts. The unresolved tension implies that this is a turning point that will shape their future encounters rather than the conclusion of their battle. Billy might be compelled to surrender to Victor or find other ways to oppose him if his agreement gives him a lot of leverage. However, Billy might take advantage of any hidden weaknesses in the agreement, unexpected repercussions or gaps, to regain his footing and reverse the situation in a subsequent meeting. Victor's deal's element of surprise also calls into question its ethics and morals. Was his secrecy an unfair approach that compromised fair play, or was it a necessary strategic move? Billy's response could provide you hints. If he feels aggrieved, it means Victor went too far. However, it fosters a worldview where similar tactics are expected if he accepts the move as a part of the game they are both playing. Their characters gain complexity from this moral uncertainty, which elevates them above simple hero and villain cliches to multidimensional people navigating a society whose laws are frequently unwritten. Additionally, Victor and Billy's tense interaction is a study in communication, or the absence of it. More information about their connection can be gleaned from their words, or lack thereof, than from any action. A short and guarded exchange between them betrays a deep-seated mistrust. A history of verbal sparring is indicated if it is filled with sarcasm or double meanings. Perhaps the most revealing element of all is the subtext of their conversation, what they decide not to express. Victor may undervalue Billy due to his self-confidence, or overconfidence, in his role, whereas Billy's composure may conceal an impending storm. What transpires during the contact and what it portends for their future relationships are both sources of tension. To sum up, the scene where Victor locks in a surprise agreement and Billy has a tense interaction with him afterwards is a rich narrative moment that delves into topics such as human psychology, strategy, power, and trust. Victor's strategic move establishes him as a powerful figure, but it may come at the expense of alienating Billy, whose response indicates his weaknesses, strengths, and potential points of retribution. Their relationship will continue to be shaped by deeper tensions, whether they be personal, professional, or ideological, rather than just momentary friction. The deal's surprise component highlights how unpredictable their world is, where alliances change and trust is just as valuable as material possessions. The spectator is left wondering what will happen next in this high-stakes game because of the interaction, which is full of unsaid feelings and strategic ramifications. Kane's spy plot and Lily's fake love are a storyline that captivated audiences with its intricate web of deception, emotional turmoil, and unexpected twists. Whether this moment results in escalation, reconciliation, or prolonged rivalry depends on the character's decisions, but its impact is undeniable and serves as a catalyst for future developments in their unfolding story. The main character of the story is Lily, who at first seems to be genuinely in love with Kane before it is discovered that her feelings were only a complex ploy. Their relationship is further complicated by Kane, who appears to be a loyal partner but is actually involved in a risky spy operation. Viewers are kept on the edge of their seats by the tight and captivating interplay created by their parallel lives, Kane's secret agenda and Lily's fake feelings. With their lavish displays, sincere admissions, and seemingly unshakable ties, Lily and Kane seem to be the ideal pair at the start of the novel. But behind the surface, Lily is manipulating Kane's trust with well-chosen words and deliberate acts. Her intentions are initially ambiguous, leading viewers to wonder if she is motivated by personal gain, retaliation, or something far darker. It becomes clear that Lily's love was a show intended to accomplish a secret goal and was never genuine as the layers of her deceit come off. However, as it becomes clear that Kane is not the straightforward, affectionate partner he poses as, the plot takes an equally dramatic turn. Rather, he is involved in a high-stakes espionage operation where dangerous missions and dark characters control every move he makes. He is forced to lie to Lily because of his double existence, even if she is also lying to him without his knowledge. One can sense the irony of their predicament, two individuals feigning to be someone they're not, each unwittingly reflecting the other's dishonesty. As their disparate lies start to clash, the tension rises. As Lily's initial strategy becomes more complicated due to her suddenly developing genuine feelings for Kane, her phony love begins to falter. Her character is given complexity by this internal battle as she tries to balance her mission with her developing feelings. In a similar vein, Kane's spying becomes more dangerous, endangering not just his life but also Lily's, particularly as his adversaries begin to perceive her as a possible vulnerability to take advantage of. Their lies combine to produce violent confrontations and intense emotional moments where the truth is on the verge of escaping but is always just out of grasp. The story's supporting cast members are essential to both furthering and impeding Lily and Kane's goals. Unaware of the deceit, friends and relatives provide support and guidance that just makes each person feel even more guilty. Whether they be characters from Kane's spy world or those with knowledge of Lily's real intentions, antagonists put further external pressure on the couple, making them keep up their facades even as they start to fall apart. These characters' interactions enhance the story by offering several viewpoints on the main dilemma and increasing the stakes with every new discovery. The psychological depth that is provided to both Lily and Kane is among the plot's most captivating elements. Despite her initial deceit, Lily is a likable character because of the nuanced portrayal of her journey from calculating coldness to real emotional agony. When her biography is made public, it frequently clarifies the reasons behind her decision, including if it was influenced by a faulty sense of justice, past suffering, or manipulation by others. Kane is also more than simply a spy. His devotion is continually put to the test as he struggles internally between duty and love. His mission's moral ambiguity, are they motivated by a higher purpose or is he just a pawn in an unjust system? Gives his character depth, elevating him above the status of a cliched action hero. The story's environment also contributes significantly to the drama's intensity. The contrast between their two worlds emphasizes how impossible their circumstances are, whether it is the glitzy setting of high society parties where Lily must keep up her act or the grim, perilous underbelly Kane traverses. Particularly powerful scenes highlight the brittleness of the lies they have created, such as a romantic moment shattered by the presence of someone from Lily's past or a quiet supper interrupted by a spy mission. The stakes keep getting higher as the story goes on. As Lily's affections for Kane deepen, she is forced to consider her allegiances, which complicates her initial goal. As he starts to long for a typical life with Lily, Kane finds himself in more perilous circumstances and his superiors are expecting more of him. Each secret they continue to maintain adds to an already unstable situation, and the fear of exposure hangs over them both. The spectator is left wondering if the foundation of lies is too shaky to support them or if their relationship can withstand the truth. The plot's climax is a masterwork of tension and emotional reward. When Lily's deceit is eventually exposed either by her own admission or by outside pressure, it results in a devastating encounter with Kane. In a same vein, Kane's secret life suddenly comes to light, forcing Lily to face the truth about him. These disclosures have disastrous repercussions, shattering trust and leaving both characters to rebuild their damaged relationship. However, even in the middle of the mayhem, there are times when their genuine emotions are revealed, raising the possibility that their relationship was not wholly phony after all. The plot's bittersweet conclusion forces Lily and Kane to consider whether their love, which has been hidden beneath layers of deceit, is worth pursuing. In some versions of the narrative, they decide to re-establish trust after enduring the storm, whereas in others, they split ways because their falsehoods are too great to overcome. Audiences are frequently most satisfied with the latter choice because it supports the notion that true love may exist even in a world full of deception. Another level of complexity is added by the supporting characters' responses to the truth. Some extend forgiveness, while others pull away, further separating Lily and Kane or drawing them closer. Kane's spy scheme and Lily's phony romance both tackle universal and ageless themes. The story revolves around trust, identity, and the masks people put on to protect others or themselves. The narrative poses challenging queries. Is it ever possible for love based on deception to exist? Can we really get to know someone, or are we all hiding aspects of ourselves? A metaphor for how people present multiple versions of themselves in various circumstances and the repercussions when those versions unavoidably clashes the duality of Lily and Kane's lives. What makes the plot so unforgettable is its emotional impact. Because they find mirrors of their own anxieties over authenticity and trust in the characters' experiences, viewers are captivated to the unvarnished nature of Lily and Kane's challenges. The performers that play Lily and Kane are essential in conveying the plot's emotional impact because of their nuanced delivery and subtle facial expressions, which allow the spectator to empathize with their conflicted emotions. Even though their love isn't real, the characters' feelings seem genuine, whether via sobs, furious arguments, or quiet moments of remorse. Ultimately, Kane's spy scheme and Lily's phony romance are more than just a story of deceit. They're an examination of human nature, the extent people will go to in order to achieve their objectives, and the surprising ways that love can transform everything. Long after the story ends, viewers are still thinking about it, wondering about the hazy boundaries between love and deceit, truth and lies, and whether those who have led double lives can ever truly be saved. The narrative's impact is indisputable, solidifying its status as one of the most captivating and emotionally powerful plotlines in its genre, regardless of whether it ends in tragedy or hope.